Faces. Today, we're just diving into the fast track of the social media sales machine. We wrapped up that workshop. I taught this for 5 days, and this is for those individuals who are ready to just get those actionable insights. I've been doing this for 20 years, and if you've been following me for long, you'll know that we like to just tell it to you straight. This isn't a social media workshop about how to go viral or how to, get a bunch of likes and views of people who actually won't buy from you. What I do and what our specialty is here and what I'm going to be teaching you here on the social media sales machine is how to actually show up on social media like a business owner and not an influencer. So I'm assuming this comes as a sigh of relief to most of you because most of you are you have your trade, you have the things you do, you have your service that you provide for your clients, and being a content creator seems just like a whole other world. It's not something you want to be spending a ton of time doing, and I'm going to be boiling that down today. How to use social media like a business owner. So this workshop, we cover what I cover in this workshop in terms of what social media profiles, right? Is this a TikTok class? Is this a LinkedIn class? It is for all social media platforms. The important thing that you really need to know when it comes to social media platforms is you want to be on that platform where your ideal client is hanging out. And I'm going to be diving into that a little bit more today, but this really works across all social media platforms because it's not platform dependent. It is how are you showing up online? What is that content that you're providing? What should you be tracking even to create more sales on social media? And how do you actually do that without it taking up your entire day, your entire life, so that you don't feel like you're always consistently on social media all the time? And that's what we're solving today. So specifically, the what I teach here is for service-based business owners, those coaches, consultants, experts, insurance agents, real estate agents. That's really who we help. Those individuals who need visibility in front of the right people, those individuals who are getting results for clients. You've posted consistently. Maybe you've hired help. Maybe you've hired the youngest person in your office because they speak the native language of social media, and yet you're not getting any traction. You're not getting any customers, and it's not generating the sales, and you wonder if it's even worth it, but you just keep hearing this echo that you've got to be on social media. So what are you supposed to do? And right here in this workshop is exactly what I'm going to be breaking down for you. We don't hold back. It is my personal belief and passion to not gatekeep any of this information. I just want to let you know what it is, what you need to be doing on social media to actually have those real results. And so in this workshop, we're going to be covering, of course, social media, but how to turn random posting, maybe this throwing spaghetti at the wall, hoping and praying that your next post actually takes off, to how to build trust before you even get on a sales call, how to get those high quality individuals that are ready to work with you actually to reach out with you. And finally, and this is a really important one for business owners, how to get content off of your plate so that it is not constantly this albatross around your neck that you're constantly fighting against and have pressure around, and you can never really crack the code. So a big thank you to everybody who showed up today. Say yes in the comments if you are ready to get started, and we will dive into the social media sales machine. Now, we're also streaming live on all the social media platforms. Let me make sure that I have that worked out here as well. One second here. And I'm going to share my screen here so that we can walk through this. I'm so glad to see you guys today. Wednesday. Congratulations to everybody for making it through their week. So here's the social media sales machine. That's my best-selling book where I outline even more of these powerful methods. But this is really everyone's number one problem these days is I'm showing up on social, but I'm not getting any clients. And if this feels like you, that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today. So why? Why are you not getting any clients even if you are posting on social media consistently? Well, the first problem is for most individuals that we work with, and we work with hundreds of service-based business owners, is your content just isn't landing. You put it out there, not much is happening, nobody's reaching out, and this is really one of the biggest problems on social media. And part of this is you like have a mix of different people on social. You got your friends and you got your colleagues, you have your prospects. And so when you show up on social media, you don't really know what your voice is. And we're going to solve that today. But there are three major reasons why your content isn't landing. The first one is it's way too generic. This is the problem with hiring it out to a VA and asking a VA to actually create this without you being involved is you lose your voice, you lose the ability for people to really feel you and trust you, and it just falls flat when you sign it out or when you use AI, right? We're all using ChatGPT these days. The second problem that we really see in the agency is it's too self-focused. And this really comes from, the Kim Kardashians of the world. You feel this really big pull to post on social media like an influencer. So you post stuff about your personal life and you post all this stuff that is about you and your hardships, and you forget about who you're actually serving. And then finally, the third problem is your content is not attracting buyers. And that means typically that you can attract cheerleaders, people who actually never intend to buy from you, but the sales conversations and those high quality conversations, they never come around because your content just isn't hitting the mark and you're not focused on the right thing. And again, this happens to everybody because we're used to being an influencer. We're watching all the influencers online. We like all their dirty laundry. We like the Kim Kardashians of the world. And then you half of the time you post like a business owner, and it can be very, very confusing for you and your clients. So this is what you need to know about your content, okay? Is that people don't buy from you just because your content is pretty. Like that certainly you want to be showing up in your content as a professional, and that of course says something about you, how you present yourself on social media. But the number one reason why people buy from you on social media is because they feel understood. They feel seen. They feel confident that you are the one that can actually help them solve their problem, that you really understand where they're coming from. And so if your content isn't leading to these sort of people actually reaching out to you, then you're missing the mark. You're chasing vanity metrics, and you're not going to be able to really nail down this right audience of buyers on social media, because it's a busy game out there, right? Like even my 8-year-old son wants to be on social media. So there's so much noise out there that getting real focused on this before you go to social media is really, really essential. So how do we solve that? Well, I have a really easy way for you to solve this, and it's deeper than just niching down, which I'm sure that you've heard 1,000 times before. And this takes it just a little bit deeper, because when we say niching down, that's like demographics. Yes, they're a 40-year-old woman who, has 3 kids in the suburbs in Delaware. And that's my ideal client. And that's where a lot of people stop. But ultimately, that's not going to tell you what keeps her up at night. That's not going to help you come across on social media that you actually understand her problem. So the shift that we have found that changes everything in the agency and as we work with our clients is what I call the one true client method. And as I describe this to you, I want you to take me very literally here, okay? Because I've taught this a lot. I've worked with clients on this a lot, and it's really simple. I'm going to simplify the whole niching situation for you. And it's like this, okay? Yeah, you want to know demographics, but ultimately, let's get rid of all of that. And instead, I want you to pick one person in your experience. Has to be somebody that you've helped, has to be somebody that has been part of your business, that paid you what you want to be paid, that has had the results that you are providing. And you want to pick just this one individual. Now, take that name of that individual, and all you need to do is put their name on a Post-it note. And every time you go to post on social media, you simply ask yourself, what would Donna think of this? And if Donna wouldn't resonate with it, if Donna would feel bored by it, if Donna would wonder why you sold her a $10,000 package and now you're selling a $97 membership program and she's saying, what the heck? Then the answer is do not post it. So take Donna. And again, Donna is somebody that is your one true client, that is in your experience, that if you could make cookie cutter versions of Donna, like your business would be in the very best place. And I say put it on a post-it note for a couple of reasons, because as we help people, you'll always forget Donna, and you'll always expand out, and you'll always be too broad, and you'll always forget Donna's problem, and then you'll run into the 3 problems about your content that I brought up on the original slide. But if you're always talking to content, or if you're always talking to Barbara and you're looking her in the eye, you will attract more cookie cutter versions of your Donna every single time. And this is really how you keep on track with making sure your content speaks to that ideal client. Your ideal client is out there. There's so many of them out there. There's so many people on social media that your fear that, well, I don't want to leave anyone out. Like I want to appeal to even more people. But that feeling right there, that resistance of actually speaking to your Donna is what is keeping you small on social media. Let me give you an example of a yoga teacher. Okay. We help a yoga teacher who has a really amazing lifestyle online program. And she felt the same. I want yoga to be available to absolutely everybody out there. And so she's out there creating content for newbies in yoga and advanced people in yoga, when her program was actually for people who knew all about yoga and they really wanted to start integrating some of the more advanced level yoga techniques and bringing it more into their lives. But as she was doing Yoga 101 on her social media profiles, all of the advanced people that already knew all of that, they were not interested in her content. She was attracting tire kickers, people who barely knew anything about yoga. And once we started helping her and we got dialed into her ideal client, well, everything changed. She let go of the resistance of not really talking to her Donna, and instead started talking to them and started attracting advanced yoga practitioners from all over the world. And that is what it looks like. Now, there's 2 mistakes that people typically make when we teach and share our ideal client methodology, our one true client methodology, and it's twofold. Don't do either of these things if you want this to work, okay? Number 1 is you think, I am my one true client. Yes, I will just sell to myself and I'm the one that knows. But ultimately, okay, you think you're smarter than you are. No offense, you are very smart, but you think you're smarter than you are, and you forgot even what it was like to not know what you know. Like, yes, you probably went through a transformation, or yes, you probably would buy from yourself, but you understand a lot more about yourself than as you go out there, and it just doesn't work. So it cannot be yourself. You can't sell to yourself. You cannot see the label from within the jar. The second mistake is that you'll take a cookie cutter or you'll take a Frankenstein version. You'll be like, I like the way Donna paid me, but Billy really had that transformation. So I'm going to squish these 2 together and that's going to be my ideal client. You don't want to do that because that's not a real person. The fact is, you know your Donna. You know your one true client, and simply putting it on a post-it note, checking in, will give you the clearest way, the most clear way of actually always targeting that ideal client of yours. It is so important. Put it on a post-it note, otherwise you will forget. Let me give you a real world example here. Here's a real client of ours here in the agency. Before his content, he's a leadership coach, speaks on some of the biggest stages in the world, and he had great content before he came to us. But it was pretty generic, okay? Not generic in the sense that his thoughts are generic, but generic in terms of who he was reaching. The things that he is saying, allow yourself to fair, embrace it, and learn from it. Okay, now he serves 8-figure CEOs in the corner office suite. And so while something like allow yourself to fail, embrace, and learn from it, it's awesome, right? But those 8-figure CEOs didn't necessarily relate with that. So when he came to us and we implemented what I'm going to show you here called the VEMS model, the 4 things you need to be posting on social media to be a business owner and not an influencer, well, everything changed. He started talking to 8-figure CEOs. And instead of cheerleading that you can get through all the problems in your life, he starts talking to these 8-figure CEOs, their real problems. He starts talking about identity. He starts showing himself on stage because he's an amazing speaker. He starts talking about escaping the success illusion, which doesn't appeal to like a general broad audience of people. It appeals to an 8-figure CEO. He talks about the trap of firefighting and just all of these examples as he is talking to his ideal client. And that's really why it matters, because here's what you need to know about social media and your content. And please say yes in the comments, both on social media and in the masterclass here, if that makes sense. If it makes sense that you do need to talk to your ideal clients, say yes in the comments, because the fact is, I'm so glad, you guys, if your content is trying to speak to everyone, you'll actually end up resonating with no one. It will be generic. You will just be more noise out there. And instead, you need to be brave enough and understand what we're saying and just step forward and pick that ideal client, because I promise you, there are cookie cutter versions of them. There are so many cookie cutter versions of them, and you're missing out by resisting just taking this step. So when you have clarity around your one true client, you know exactly what kind of pain they're in. You know what they said to you. Here's the thing. When you're on social media fishing for clients, it's a lot like fishing for fish, and it's all about the words you use. That is the bait. And so if you're using words that are attracting a more general audience, that's exactly what you're going to catch. Where if you use words that come out of your ideal client's mouth because you know them, you've worked with them, well, your whole entire social media will change. So let's hop into the 4 things that you need to be posting on social media in order to be a business owner and not an influencer. And this is what I call my VEMS model. This is how you build trust online. This is how you get visibility with the right people. And I have some examples here, but essentially you got to have 4 things that you're posting on social media to build that trust. And the first is going to be vibe. The second is your experience. Vibe is like who you are, how you come across, right? Like, I'm not for everybody. My truth telling ways aren't necessarily for everybody here. Maybe you like a more soft approach. But I show up online because I attract those individuals that are attracted to who I am and how I deliver my results. E for experience. Those are customer testimonials. Know this is that if your prospects can see themselves in your customer testimonials, they are so likely to work with you. So it is in your best interest to always be sharing your experience. M is for methodology, which is a system. It's way easier to sell a system than to just sell yourself. And then finally, skills. What is it that you can actually help people with? If you go out to social media with these 4 things, then you will definitely be posting like a business owner and attract those high quality clients that are meant for you in mass. So here's a vibe post. You can see that our client here, she talks about day-to-day thinking. She comes across as extremely relatable. This picture very much fits her brand. It's behind the scenes. She's reading a book. This is very much how you can come across with vibe. This is your energy. This is your essence. This is the feeling that people get when they scroll past your face or hear your voice. Now here's our client again. This is experience, showing yourself on stage. What is it that you do? What are your qualifications? Tell me a little bit about the clients that you serve. It's not just, hey, I've been doing this for 10 years. It's showing your audience what you do and how you do it. And that's through client stories, industry commentary, lessons learned sort of videos, and even quick behind the scenes post. What are you doing? And the way that I like to talk about experience is this, is you're documenting what you're doing in your business. So if you just got off a call with a client and you gave them an aha moment and you're high-fiving yourself and you're like, everybody needs to hear this, then post about that on social media. You don't have to give away all of your client names or anything, but what is the takeaway? You want to be just documenting what you're doing, okay? If you are a speaker and you're speaking on stage, document, I'm about to go on stage. I've rewritten my slides to better talk about how I can have this transformation. As you talk about experience, and again, remember, if your clients can see themselves in your client stories, then they will be more likely to work with you. The third is M for methodology. We're going through VEMS here, and that is that you have a method. They're not just trusting you and that you're awesome, but you actually have a method that you can guide them through. You have a process. It doesn't have to be a 10-step diagram, but even just naming your process, like I do here with the social media sales machine, immediately makes you look that much more legit and less like you're winging it and you're just hoping and praying that people will trust you. So when you have a methodology, you're telling people, I've done this enough times, I have enough experience that I've developed a repeatable system with my clients and it works. And so you want to show them the system, even if it's just a glimpse. Here's a client of mine, the secret to agency growth. He helps independent insurance agents scale their business. And part of that is acquisition, other agents. And so he shares his methodology in his content to attract those ideal clients. And then finally, skills. This is where you show people that you actually have the capability to help them, that you're not just good at what you do, or that you're not just good at something, but you actually have that expertise. So on this, you're thinking micro case studies, you're thinking about tactical how-to content. This is where a lot of people put their content, but even short clips showing you in action. Now, the skills piece, I'll give you another example here of a client. He was a lifestyle and fitness consultant for high figure CEOs. Okay. And he really leaned in, I'm sorry, not CEOs, but entrepreneurs. So entrepreneurs that were very successful. They didn't have time to go to the gym. They wanted results out of their workout. And this is primarily who he served. He understood that kind of lifestyle. Now, when he came to us, what he was posting on social media was very much how to. So it was like, here's the workout of the day. Like, here's the bicep curl and here's all the things. And while he was attracting a audience on social media, none of them were high level entrepreneurs that didn't have time to actually go to the gym and figure out this workout situation so that they could succeed at what they were doing. So he came to us and we brought into light his ideal client. His content changed. And instead of attracting, and we started talking to the problems. You don't have time to go to the gym. You don't have time to do this. It's important to get your workout in every morning. Here's your problems. You don't have time to be like a super pro at figuring out your health and wellness lifestyle, right? Like you want somebody to help you do that. And it's got to be short on time because these entrepreneurs are busy. So as we started talking to those individuals and coming away from skills-based only, then he started attracting more and more entrepreneurs on social media so that he was able to create a real audience that would buy from him on social. So ultimately, when it comes to content, here is what you need to know. If your content isn't resonating on social media, the answer is number one, have that ideal client in mind, okay, every time you post. And the second thing is display your VEMS. Every week, your vibe, your experience, your methodology, and your skills. And that right there will solve most of your content problem, okay? That's where most people get it wrong. So the second main problem, and it's so great to see everybody on social as well, that people have when they post on social media is they end up tracking the wrong things. And again, this comes from influencer mindset. We're so used to, I want to go viral, okay? People think, how many views did I get? Why didn't this post go viral? And I know like when these posts come from you and you're really excited about them, it does suck when they don't go viral, but chasing virality is not how you're going to get clients on social media. And finally, do I have to do a dance? No, you don't have to do a dance. You don't have to do all that thing. Again, this is the business owner mindset. You are not an influencer. Yes, if you're an influencer, you know, what they do is they try to create shocking videos or they're sharing cat memes. Or a lot of times I'll have clients when they first come to me, like, they're like, hey, every time I post something about business, I get crickets. But every time I post something with my cute kids, I get a lot of likes, or with my pets, I get a lot of likes and a lot of views. And so I tend to post a ton of content with my pets and kids. But ultimately, like that is not attracting your ideal audience. That's attracting an audience of people who likes your dog and your type of dog. And so you got to keep crystal clear in mind, would your ideal client, while they could, I guess, appreciate your kids, Does it matter to them? No. What matters is their problems and their results. And so chasing views, chasing likes, chasing comments is not the answer here, because it's easy enough to do that. Like, you can create cat memes all day long and have a successful Instagram account because a lot of people who like cats will follow you, but nobody will actually buy from you. And so having this crystal clear vision about what is important on social media is going to change absolutely everything for you. So instead of chasing all of those vanity metrics, instead, when people work with us in the agency, here are the metrics that we actually track, the metrics that actually matter. And that is, number one, how many profile views did I get? So if you are creating great content and that means people are actually looking at your profile to see more about you. This is a really big piece of information that tells you that you're on the right track. So if you're posting cat memes and nobody's going to be looking at your profile, but if you're posting about your business and you're posting VEMs and they look at your profile, that means they want to dig deeper. So literally track this on a month by month basis to see how your content is performing. The second is how many people messaged or replied. So we always recommend to do a call to action, that is how to get more information in every single post on social media. And based on that, you want to be tracking how many people actually responded to that, how many people messaged or replied. And then finally, how many sales conversations were started on social media based on those posts. That right there is the most important thing that you can track on social media, because that is ultimately what leads to sales. And so let's go over a couple of myths when it comes to tracking. Okay, so myth number one when it comes to tracking is, if people aren't commenting, it's not working. This one's tough, okay? Because we all want that engagement. We all want all the external validation that people are following us. But the fact is, you have to know this, that even if people aren't commenting, it's not working. The real truth is, and we see this all the time, your highest value clients often never comment. They watch silently and DM when they're ready. I can't tell you how many times we hear this with our customers that we help, is I didn't even know they were watching. And they reached out to me and were ready to work together. You have to remember this. It happens across the board, regardless of what niche or what industry that we're working in. Now, the second myth around what to track and what is actually working on social media is social media isn't working if I'm not going viral. We've talked about this already at length today. Remember, viral content does not equal valuable content. All viral content says is, yes, I have given them some sort of dopamine hit, and that is all it is. It does not build trust. It does not help you build that trust and that visibility with the right people on social media. And then finally, we have myth 3, which is, I should just post more and hope something sticks. This really is where a lot of people run into problems. And here's the facts, okay, is that posting without a strategy, it creates just so much more noise and not momentum, and visibility without intention is a waste of your time. So who here feels like that they just post more, they're hoping something sticks every time they post? It's just like throwing spaghetti at the wall, and it can be really, really frustrating. So my big message for you, if you are somebody who doesn't put any strategic thinking into social media, you've hired the VA and you're just, as long as something's going out, then it's good enough, it won't work, especially today, in today's day and time on social media. It's so incredibly competitive. You need to go in with a strategy. How do I post my VEMs? How am I approaching social media? How is this working? And what am I tracking? And the real key there is one true client, always focused on that, posting your VEMs and tracking the right things. That is how you actually end up posting with a concrete strategy on social media. Okay, so know who you're talking to. That's why your content isn't resonating. The second thing is make sure you're tracking the right thing. And the third thing that a lot of people really struggle with, and I feel for you because this is the number one problem, but it's also the number one solution, and that is being consistent. The fact is that when you're not consistent on social media, you're starting and stopping, and you have to rebuild that momentum from ground zero every single time you stop. And so the problem is the stop and start posting, you're telling the algorithms and your prospects and your audience on social media that you're not even serious about this. Okay. And so you have to find a way to not stop and start posting, because every time you do that, it gets harder to dig yourself out of that hole. The second thing is giving up after a bad post. We've all been there, poured our whole heart and soul into a post, convinced it's going to attract so many buyers and it's going to be so awesome, and nothing ever comes of it. But the problem is that it's not, and this is what you really want to understand here. It's not one post that's going to bring the right people in. That's never about one post. It is about 50 posts that they see over a series of weeks that builds enough trust for them to actually reach out to you. And so there is no such thing as a bad post, and you want to be viewing social media from a more global level, that it's a series of posts. It's just good marketing, right? Like we watch commercials, the Geico commercial, right? We don't want to be giving our insurance business to a gecko, but suddenly, right, the first time we see him, but suddenly after I've seen this guy 50 times on my TV, I kind of built some trust with him. And so that's the same for social media. And finally, treating content like a one-time launch strategy instead of a relationship. So every time you get, oh my gosh, I need customers, and so you start posting or you start a new strategy because you're like kind of acting like this, it won't result in clients. So you want to be approaching social media from a long-term strategy. You want to know what you're tracking, and you really want to be posting very consistently, just like those Geico commercials, because that is how it works. It's just good marketing for people to actually see you over and over and over again. And so that is how social media works. It's not about one amazing post that attracts 50 of your ideal clients. That's not the reality. The reality is it's good marketing to be consistently in front of people all the time. So this is kind of what it looks like, is you want to be visible on social media, and you bring it all together like this. You want to be visible on social media, and that builds trust. And from that trust, that equals clients. And that's what I call content that compounds. Every week, you're not starting over. Every week, you're stacking momentum, you're stacking visibility, you're building trust with those individuals that see you, so that when it is time for them to buy from you, or when they're in enough pain, or when they're seeking enough pleasure that they're ready to actually reach out, you're the one who is in their feed. Because if you stop posting, your competitors will certainly inch their way into their feed, and certainly your competitors are being consistent, and they'll be the ones. So it's more about when your clients or your prospects are in that pain or that pleasure seeking, when they're ready to finally reach out, who is in their feed? And it's not the person who stops and starts posting, okay? It's the person that is always consistently there, because you have a place in your feed. And so every post on social media builds from the very last one. Every message that they see builds more trust. And every DM starts with a buyer who already knows they want to work with you. And that's the beautiful part about posting on social media like a business owner and not an influencer. Now, here's the thing. We do this for our clients all the time. Let me show you some real-time case studies. So you don't have to do this alone. Here's what I have to say, okay, is that you're a service-based business provider. And for you to figure out how to consistently post 5 days a week on social media, how to do talking head videos, which are so essential in getting your vibe across, because just text-based posts aren't going to cut it. That doesn't create enough result. Like, it doesn't create enough trust. So how do you do talking head videos? How do you post other things? How do you become a content creator and do everything else in your business? And as I mentioned, I'm not one for pitter-pattering around the truth. Can you do it? Maybe. Will it take you 20 or 40 hours a week? Yeah. And do you have a lot of reps and a lot of things to learn? Yes, you absolutely do. And it's going to take a while to actually learn it. Where good business owners and business owners who understand their time, not good business owners, but business owners who understand the value of their time, it is really important to consider outsourcing this to get some help so that you don't take 2 years to figure out what somebody already knows in a week and can start getting you results. And so let me show you what this looks like in real life. Hey everybody, and hey everybody on social, nice to see you. We've been talking about Rocky today. He is a leadership coach and speaker. Since we started working together 40 days ago, he mentioned this to me, 40 days working with him. He said, I've done over 100K in business and I have 15K in recurring monthly income. You and your team have had the answers that I've never had. Rocky's clients love him. His delivery is, it is world class. Okay. And his content now matches his caliber. And so he was certainly posting on social media, but now he's posting on social media knowing who he's actually talking to and putting that across. Here's another client of mine, Matt. He's a real estate consultant. He's smart. He's articulate. He's really great at what he does, but he was on and off posting. He couldn't figure out how to be consistent on social. He would hire it out, or then he would do it himself, or then he wouldn't do it at all. And then every time he would have a launch, he would start doing it again. And then he would pull back because then he would have to go serve all of his really great clients. Or then he'd go to a speaking event and he wouldn't post on social. And this stop and start made it so that social media wasn't able to provide him with a steady in-stream of clients. So when he came to work with us, we clarified who his one true client was. We clarified what kind of metrics he needs to be tracking instead of viral posts. And we put him on a consistent posting schedule 5 days a week. Doesn't matter if your dog's sick, doesn't matter what the kids need, but you just know 5 days a week it's going out and it's pre-planned and it's out there. And that right there is the real key to having a successful social media presence and building business on social media and actually getting clients from social media. So now that I've outlined those 3 problems, and now that you've seen what's possible, when you stop actually posting for the algorithm and stop wondering what to post every day and say every day, and you start using content as a strategic sales tool, I've shown you how it works for Rocky. I've shown you how it works for Matt. I've given you a lot of client examples. It's exactly what my team and I do here at the BAM agency. We help you with these 3 problems and help you create content that actually sounds like you. Now, we don't just work with anyone, and I want to offer everybody here in the workshop a free gift. If you want a free gift, say yes in the comments. We all love free gifts. And I want to tell you what that is. I mean, it's July, so it's time for a gift because we're 6 months after Christmas. But here's a gift for everybody who is joining me today, is that if you're wondering about social media and you're like, yes, I know social media can be my number 1 sales generator. I know social media can support all of my other marketing, whether it's podcasting or you have a book or you're doing cold calling or you're buying ads. Having a consistent social media strategy will support those in every way. It will increase your conversion rates in every way. So if you're confused about content, and if what I'm saying is resonating with you, if you want to know who your ideal client, if you want to know where the gap is and why your content isn't working, we want to offer you a lead attraction strategy session with me. Now, Emily, if you want to drop the link, once the calendar is filled, it's filled. I only have, select spots, but I want to offer this to you. This isn't just any call. I'm not going to get on this call and try to sell you my services because I don't work with just anybody. What the purpose of this call is clarity clarity around who your ideal client is, clarity around the kind of content you actually need to be posting, clarity around how to actually get those conversions from social media. And I want to invite you to this strategy session. May I offer you my services at the end of this call? Maybe. If you're a good fit, if I feel like I can help you, if you even want to be helped. But ultimately, because I'm showing up really just wanting to help people and clear the fog around the craziness that is social media and help you actually take some real step forwards on social to actually break free from all of the myths and really start posting so it is successful for you. That is exactly why we offer this strategy session. So all you need to do is head over to lindsayaa.com/attract and sign up for a strategy session with me. And if you're thinking, okay, Lindsay, I mean, it makes sense. Maybe know this. It's not a cookie cutter sales call. It's 30 minutes. It's completely focused on you and your business and what's next for you on social media. Let me talk to you a little bit about what this call is about. Again, if you head over to lindsayaa.com/attract, then you can apply for your strategy session with me. We're going to figure out how to nail your voice on social media and how to actually break free from all of the craziness that is social. So, the first thing that we're going to discuss on this powerful call is a quick snapshot of your business. Of course, I'm going to find out what you sell. We're going to talk about who your ideal client is. Many of you still have a question mark around who that ideal client is. We're going to get crystal clear with that on the phone. I have a real knack of being able to help you understand who you're talking to. We're going to talk about what's working in your sales pipeline and where your content really fits into that, what platform you need to be on, how you need to be showing up. And that's what we're going to be talking about in the first part of that call so that I can really understand where you're already winning. Because here's the thing is that you are winning. You might not see it. You can't see your own problems because you're in them too deep. I'll be able to create some crystal clear clarity for you and your business and where you're missing out on social media, because I'm not here to overhaul everything that you're doing. I'm here to optimize those things on your social media that are not working well. Now, that's number one. Of course, I'm going to get some information about your business, what your current reality is. The second thing, and Emily, again, if you head over to lindsayaa.com, Emily has dropped the booking link there, lindsayaa.com/attract. The second thing, and this is really powerful, is the gap. We're going to take an honest look at the content sales disconnect. It's a huge gap for most people. And we're going to talk about what kind of content you're currently sharing. We're going to talk about what kind of traction it's already getting, whether it's attracting buyers or not, and what kind of system, if any, that you're using to stay consistent. We're not going to cover generic messaging. We're not going to cover, your no clear buyer's journey in the content. We're going to use the VEMS framework to quickly pinpoint what is missing in your content, in your vibe, experience, methodology, and skills. So we're going to cover your current reality. We're going to cover the gap, and we're going to cover your visibility plan. After we understand all of that information, I'm going to walk you through what I would do if I were you. That means who you should be focused on, what platform you should be on, what kind of content you should focus on, and what to stop doing that's actually not driving sales, and how to start structuring your content so it actually builds visibility and trust with the right people. So I offer this to you as a gift. Hop on. Would love to break this down with you. I like to offer this as a service, lindsayaa.com/attract. Even if we never work together. Okay. Again, not the purpose of the call. The call is clarity. Even if we never work together. Okay. You're going to leave this call with clarity around what's broken, what you need to fix, and what you need to focus on next, so that here we are in summer. By the time the end of summer comes, you will have a lead generation machine in your business. Social media will actually start working with you, and you will leave the social media chaos and stress and questioning and wondering why it doesn't work for you. That's exactly what you're going to leave this call with. Now, if it's a fit, of course, we'll talk to you about how it looks to work with an agency like mine. Know this, our programs start as low as $997 a month, and our programs and packages are amazing. It takes you 1 hour a month with me, and we create 30 days worth of high converting content for you and post it for you so that you can get back to doing what you do best. And it's not posting on social media. We take care of that. And our programs make sure that your voice is intact, that it sounds like you, and it's really attracting your ideal clients. So that typically looks like an interview with me, an hour a month. I know what questions to ask you. I know how to get your voice from you. And from that interview, we're able to create this amazing content that will support your business, that will support your vision, and will support your mission. So, again, we do have programs starting as low as $997 per month, and that really just depends on what you need. But of course, on this call, we'll talk about if that is a fit. We're an agency that really prides ourselves in getting really involved with our clients. So we only take a handful of clients every single month. But if this sounds like the kind of support you've been missing and you want social media off of your plate and you want a real professional to help you with this, to maintain your voice, to talk to your ideal client, and to make sure you're consistent on social media every single day to build up that trust and visibility, your next step is to head over to lindsayaa.com/attract. So if you want your content to finally match the quality of business that you offer and to help you match the business that you're trying to build, all you need to do is stop guessing and start converting and get over on this call, lindsayaa.com/attract. Again, it's the best time now to get started on social media so that by the time fall comes, the momentum is already there. You're already building that visibility and trust. So now is the time to hop on that call. lindsayaa.com/attract. Thank you to everybody for joining me for the Social Media Sales Machine.